level because that's what it can give you. So Alphabet short. Tesla, has that broken yet?
Almost.
No, Tesla has absolutely not broken 170 because it's headed higher. So you know what, you can cancel that order. I never want to have a breakout or breakdown order sitting out there when the stock is that far away, because if it gets there too fast, I don't want to be hitting the bottom after a $1.50 move in a couple of seconds. So I'm going to have to put that one on the back burner for now. AMD holding fort. GME, we'd love to be able to join the trend here, but generally speaking, if I'm joining a squeeze trend, consolidator pullback, this thing is just racing higher, and I don't want to chase any tops on GME. Usually it lets you in. On some kind of a dip, you just got to be patient with it. We're patient with it, usually gives you that VWAP at some point in the day.
All right, so we actually got Take It Out there first. It's a hit, so we will go red on Apple there because it did break down through. We did get a little bit back long just in case that is that wick bottom. You know what we do this, but then we have the big winner and then there's nothing will happen to it. So we're just gonna wait now to see. If it goes back up, we could have another Amazon type day here potentially with this as it goes all the way down in and then starts to pop right back up against us. But we'll try. Okay, there it goes, back up to the 70s. That's fine still, even if this does happen. That bottom of the day was 48. We had 184 written down, so we could have got out and then debated getting long back into here. We did get some out right before it popped up, so at the end of the day, it was really just this trade back into VWAP. That was the good one. Early was fine. We were able to get out, broke up to 185, and then all of a sudden, the market rips today, and Apple does this, which is making me think that honestly, and I know Fed is speaking, obviously that's not gonna happen anything to Apple, but like maybe we should just trade the futures because we had very similar feels about the futures at those levels as well. And then you don't have to deal with single stock risk like why Apple is making that move. I do like NVIDIA here for a short, or not NVIDIA, sorry. Tesla, we gotta go to Adair in a second. Tesla for a short up, but needs to get near that 173, which is the high of the day. So let's see if Tesla can bounce off 170, which it's done, but right back into the 50 period moving average of 172. What's up, Adair?
Yet another smaller earnings name moving around. Another small earnings name moving around here. This one's going to be Groupon, GRPN. Slightly lower volume, just cracked 1 million shares on the day, but right now they are up about 25%. Earnings beat across the board, though guidance was a bit weaker. They did name a new CEO, and they have a short float of about 11.4%. GRPN, guys.
Groupon. Making some power. Look, okay, here comes GME for the first time. So this is the first dip that's happened in the stock since literally 9:30, and if you caught that one, you were just paying attention to the 1750 level. VWAP's all the way at 18.5, so maybe it pulls back and gets to VWAP. I don't want to say more likely, but possibly it could get to 19 here, and it just gets supported at the 19 level for a quick bounce. Once there's any bit of a bid, I want to try the long. We did this in the afternoon. Try the long off of like the initial dip. Hold it, give it like to that range. So it did a dip like this at 17. I had this one in here, like 70s to 60, and then go. So it'd be more like it hold in 19, get 15s or 20s, give it that 20-cent risk back into the high of the day. Let's go with Era.
Worth keeping in mind, we do have some more comments coming out from Fed's Logan. These ones certainly sending a message here. It is too early to think about cutting rates, and there are uncertainties if policies are sufficiently restrictive. So Fed's Logan pretty hawkish here. Keep an eye on the SPY and the overall market, guys.
Okay. I mean, I shorted Tesla here. I mean, we got up to the 50 period. I mean, that's close enough for me to start a position. We do want a much bigger one if we can get into or around the 200 period. So let's just start in case there is some kind of a collapse here. Remember, at 10 o'clock, we do have right here, as according to our watch list, of course, it's all over the place, man. University of Michigan sentiment coming. Expected 76 for that. And then Kashkari at 10. Logan is actually speaking right now. Come through early. Expected to be 10. 12:45 Goolsby. 1:30 Fed's Bar. Kashkari and Goolsby again in the afternoon. So, all right, here we go. Tesla trying to battle back off that 170, like as if that was a huge level. So we'll now wait, try to get some more short into Tesla. If we rip up here, we do like it into this 200 period moving average. I'm not going to add any to it right now. It's a small starter. When we get up here, you'll see my price will completely change. We're offering 172.80s to see if we can get something in and around this 200 period moving average. So that's what we're doing for right now. Yeah, and watching out for crypto. Crypto back to 63,000. We talked a little bit about that. And I wanted to check Coinbase. We haven't really looked there in a minute.
Hopefully we're doing...
Oh, I could take another one, by the way,
Randy.
Randy.
Oh my goodness.
If you have a second. Yeah, okay, then maybe I'll take two. All right, thank you, Randy. If you do have a minute there, Randy always, he scared you there or what?
Well, no, I mean, yeah, okay, obviously I didn't, I was kind of shocked. Well, someone's standing right behind you. Like, I didn't
Yeah,
see
it
it.
is,
He kind
it
of
is a
snuck
thing.
up on me there. I was about to mention GME, but shoot, did I tell him to get me one?
Roblox.
You know, Randy's cool. He'll probably get one anyways. So GME just made that move down in. We said it might dip into 19. The low ended up being 19.10. So I got long. I got some at 20, and then I got a little bit at 30. And not gonna lie, I actually keystroked out of. Instead of putting out the next leg, I actually put it all out there, which is probably the exact same moment that Randy came in. But no, not breaking out the top is GameStop, so that was the first available dip buy. If it can hold this range, we might try to go again at that 19 level. Google is really weird. Yeah, Google, I mean, it's not dropping that much. Like, see what's happening here in Alphabet? No, this is not a give it to the top. If Google breaks 16, I know this is a tight stop for Alphabet, but if it breaks like the quarters here, why even give it the extra 25 pennies? That is not falling. It's kind of a fail break of the low of the day into a higher low. If it takes out that top, that's kind of bullish. So let's not get too crazy with Google and give that the wide range. Either breaks down now or we'll have to step out of that one a little bit tighter. AMD, I guess I did not get the dip buy on VWAP there while GameStop was going. It's still above VWAP. I'm sitting 155.5, looking to pick it up here for another push higher. I'm still in a piece from earlier at 155.55. I'm getting way too obvious. I'm always just, if I put a bid in front of 155.50, I just hit an extra 5. Because obviously. Okay, so Google's starting to come back in here. We'll keep eyes on GameStop. But I've tightened my stop on Google to 168 quarters. Let's go to Adara. We've got happening now and
Numbers.
Just waiting on these numbers to come in. We're getting Michigan consumer sentiment. It's going to be one of the key numbers. Preliminary number for May, as Sean mentioned, forecast of 78, consensus of 76. We're also getting the 5-year inflation expectation preliminary, and also consumer expectations, condition, and inflation expectations here should be coming in the next couple seconds. Worth noting as well, our slew of Fed speak has begun with Bowman and Logan both being a little bit more cautious, but Logan being especially hawkish, saying that he's not sure that they're ready to cut rates just yet. We did get the Michigan consumer sentiment a lot lower than expected, 67.4 versus the consensus of 76 and forecast of 78. Just waiting for the other numbers you're going to see if they have come in. We did a big drop here in the SPY, as you can see here. We got a lot of these numbers here coming lower than expected. Conditions preliminary, 66.8 here. Michigan expectations coming in 66.5 versus 76 expected. Michigan 1-year inflation preliminary coming in higher than the expected here, 3.5 versus 3.2 expected. So that's not a good look. We also have 5-year inflation expectations coming in 3.1% versus 3 expected. So these inflation numbers are coming higher, consumer sentiment coming in lower than expected, to kind of summarize that. Some names to keep an eye on here today, including Unity, one of the bigger earnings names that we had today, falling down about 4.5% after projecting lower than expected Q2 revenue for its strategic portfolio, actually a decrease there. And then last but not least, Taiwan Semi, TSM, leading all these other semiconductors to the upside, up about 5% itself, after noting a 60% year-over-year increase in April revenue. Keep an eye on all those these names and all of that Fed speak, guys.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we talked about that coming out at 76 expected, and then that's not a great number there coming out at 67.4. But I mean, is this another situation where good news is bad news and bad news is good news, or what? Because I'm surprised the market's going down as much as it was. Adara mentioned that the market was going down. I was like, no, it's not. And then all of a sudden, in the last minute and a half, we did start to get going here a little bit. Because remember, the more data the Fed has that can point towards a slowing economy or whatever, potentially will lead to the rate cut that people are looking for. But I don't know if that number is going to do it or not. We did have an opportunity to get out of some Tesla right there. We took some more at 72. At 171.35 or whatever, I'm bidding 25. So let's put that up a little bit in case for some reason this doesn't want it. We're just going to get out of a piece. It doesn't want to go too much lower. Let's put a bid there for 40s, take 30 cents or 40 cents quickly, and then move back in, hopefully back down to 170 on Tesla. Again, and of course, as I talking about Tesla, we get supercharged again with some more coffee. So that's going to be a play there that I like.
Brother.
Apple just dancing around here. I wish that I could figure out more about, thank you, Randy, more about Apple here because I kind of want to go short. So we'll see what winds up happening right there. Yeah, Tesla, by the way, I just heard Neil say Teslas look weak today. We've been talking Tesla short now for a long time. Whether or not it's weak today or not, I mean, I hope it can get weaker than where it is right now, but it is trying to, that's Apple, it is trying to go. So it was weak, but again, you know, considering this move back up, it's actually, for me, Apple is the one that I'm thinking, you know, would be maybe a better short if we can get to 184, but the market's just trying to dance here off VWAP, so nice pull back into that level. Maybe it's time to go long the Qs.
And speaking of time to go long, well, you know what got to $21? Well, okay, maybe you don't. Palantir got to $21, as you can obviously see. So it bounced off O's exactly. I mean, if you were sitting at ones or twos, you got ones or twos. I didn't get in until it was back through fives. So it's 5 cents plus a little bit worth of risk. It just printed 10s. I'm sitting 13s, 15s, and VWAP is at 20, so 18s will get there as well. I went for the reload on GameStop, but so it actually never broke the high. Well, kind of broke the high. So I went for the reload in there and had a tight stop. Just didn't like, I got into the position after I saw it hold the 19s, and I kind of looked at the volume on that handle down and realized let's be more patient with it in and around VWAP. So maybe the wrong decision, but we'll kind of stick to our guns there. Sometimes you get like a gut read on the tape. You're like, yeah, it feels like it could be a little bit weaker in the VWAP, and that's another 30 cents. So I'd rather get that if at all possible. Alphabet just couldn't hold on. I said after that move, let's get a tighter stop on Alphabet because it was not falling. So I put in the tighter stop. It's staircase to the upside, which means I just got to be careful. When you're shorting a name and it is showing you a bullish pattern, I think it behooves you to be a little bit careful with it there. So we're now out of Alphabet. Thank goodness we put a tighter stop on that. And TSM, shout out to you, Chef Joe. Like this is just continuously going. It just broke the 150 level and going higher and higher. This is a breakout on the daily with obvious, I mean, 155 is going to be an obvious level. It kind of tanked that at an open recently. So I think there's room to run if that can go dip by hunting. But the news position for me was at Palantir 21. You know, every single day it's at least gotten to this level and made a bit of a bounce. I would suspect maybe not as strong of a bounce as it did yesterday because it's a little more obvious when everybody sees it. If we can get to VWAP, we'll be happy, and it can't turn into a loser at that point. Then hold some for a little bit more.
All right, we just tried AMD, by the way, right there at that 155. It did break into that level, so I'm okay with it. But again, not a winning trade there. I still want to look at it. It did break lower, so we got out. But I still want to keep my mind on this. We were long at 155.08 or something, and we got out when it broke. We broke below 94. We punched out there, gave it a little bit of room into that play. Feds Logan still speaking. I'm going to take a little bit more on Tesla here in case we don't get into 172.80, but we are sitting there at 172.80, I believe. Yeah, waiting for a little bit. You know what? I can, now because I'm just going to adjust my shares here on that fill. 175.50. I guess I can cancel that one. All right, so we're going to adjust our shares because we did take a little bit more here, but it did go up to the 200 period, realizing that maybe our order was a little too high for that. But AMD is falling down again, so you know we'll lose on that one, make on Nvidia, but we only have one trade here. Here comes the pushback. We said wait for 152 flat there for AMD. I don't know if that's going to come into play or not. Check in on Nvidia. Look at this one, it's doing nothing right now. So Apple, Nvidia, and then Tesla. We're short at 172. Like, I mean, I don't know. Let's wait to see. That was not a great consumer number for the consumers
Didn't seem
out of Michigan. So we'll have to wait to see if this market wants to take that as a weak data point, therefore good for the market, or weak data point, therefore weak data point. So let's just wait to see on that one. It's a good thing we got a little bit more shares there, but I did want more, but you know, we will take what we can get right now. Not a great average price here for Tesla, but still trying to come back in for us a bit.
Oh, boo, GameStop. Oh, GameStop. Wow.
21?
I did it again.
Gulp?
Oh, no, I did it again.
What does that mean?
Well, I mean,
Short?
no, I actually just had this long.
Oh, okay.
And then, like, at that moment, it really
had the
did.
long.
No, it really did feel like it was weak on the tape. I kind of thought with that trend down, you're going to test VWAP in there. Obviously, all that was just dead wrong. So, you know, you're breaking out this 19, 20. There's still room to go on this, so I don't want to completely give up the notion. What do we got here? So you still room to go. Whoa, zoomed out way too far there. There's still room to go to the next level up. So you got the 20 level being taken out, and then on the daily, maybe there's 22. You got some wicks up at 21.5. So it's not as if this is completely out of legs and not worth dip buying, or at least looking for another dip buy. So if it fails the 20 level, I'll probably look for a dip down into 1930. I mean, that's going to happen to you. We're just in Palantir now. AMD, I gave up when it gave up VWAP. I got out when it gave up VWAP, but I'm not going to give up because as far as I'm concerned, you have a few things set up. You've got previous support. You've got previous resistance at 154. There's a couple of levels to dip by this. I'm going back over to Alphabet, which did not get to 169. I said I'd be a little bit more conservative with it, have a tighter stop and wait for it to get to the next level up at 69. It's not there just yet. And apparently Mara is tanking. Palantir for its... I mean, the good news would be Palantir is holding those highs,
21. I like
but it's
you're
still,
right?
yeah, but it's still stair step down, right? Like it's like lower highs in here, and it just put in another lower high. Got a couple of legs out there into the teen, or one into the teens, and one there at 10s, but it's about to retest that 21.
Just
that's gonna suck on GME.
before we go to Adair, I mean, great trade on GME regardless. Doesn't matter if it keeps going up or not, but I mean, it does matter because
I literally sold.
remember we talked about this, and Greg used to talk about it, and it made me think about it as well, is that you're never happy or right as a trader because there's always areas, and here's an example on Tesla, like selling, and then getting out right here. So just getting that back in and now having to now get out of these tops instead of just waiting for that ultimate top up to the 200 period. So there's an out back. We talked about this. 200 to VWAP is a out for me all night long. Back over to Adara.
Wow.
Worth noting here, some interesting comments here coming out of Fed's Kashkari saying that the Fed is interested in AI because it contributes to productivity. So interesting AI-related comment here coming from Fed's Kashkari, worth a mention. Not seeing anything else here, but he is still speaking, guys.
All right. It's
You don't
better,
like him?
Well, when you're long, it's usually better to have somebody else talking.
Yeah, I thought there was other reasons there. Okay.
No, we'll go with it because he spells his name differently.
Yeah, it's just funny. Tesla's now my #1 P&L name. And we talk about this all the time, like sit around, sometimes wait for opportunities. I don't have to get so like amped up off the open all the time. So there's a good trade for Tesla. We knew we wanted the short. We talked about relative weakness. Every time Randy comes over here, I keep talking about the short. I keep saying we have it on the sticky note every freaking day. So right now we actually have it, and we're gonna put this out for a Dollar Club winner. Hopefully if it comes back into 171 teens, that will be your Dollar Club from, I mean, remember, we talked about our average prices. This is the most important thing. These are the shorts I have. This is where it's going. So, you know, good trade here. Hopefully we'll be able to fall back in even lower for Tesla, especially if the market burns up to the downside here. And my P&L almost got burnt on AMD, but thankfully we open our eyes and get disciplined a little bit right there, and that puts us in a face-slapping opportunity right now with Tesla. Because as this comes back in, we put a smile back on our face because now we are at $1.30 in the money on that one. Solar storm. Oh yeah, what's up, Chef Joe? My son was talking about a solar storm. So I don't know, is there something happening with that?
Well, there wasn't.
Something, I think it's coming close to our atmosphere or something. I don't know, because
They do happen all the time, but
that was the difference. Is
Yeah,
that I
it's
think
strength that matters.
he was talking about, and it's probably just stuff that kids talk about, at least these days, that it was going to be like affecting the internet and all this stuff. So I don't know if they're talking about it at school or not, but shout out to whatever that solar storm story is. But we got a storm brewing right now, and it's Another Dollar Club winner right there, $1.25 now in the money for Tesla. We had that $8 winner on NVIDIA that we took already, but look, Neil, what's happening with that name? Back down to 900, baby. Yeah, exactly. Thank God we got out of many of these names before this started to happen to the downside. And of course, Apple holding fort right now. I might take another piece out on Tesla. We just bounced off 171. I'm gonna put a bid at 170.50. And Chef Joe, no qualms with shorting Tesla. I know he's a big Tesla bull.
Well, we're just.
I still want to have that. I will still have that rib steak with my guy over there. As soon as he's around, or we're in New York, we're linking up, man. We're having that.
Down with that.
Yeah, I'm down with that, man.
Always.
Medium rare.
That's the only way.
Get some nice red wine, whatever. Yeah, actually, whatever. I'll drink it with damn water. Doesn't matter.
Barolo.
Here we go. Yeah, we'll
John's a Barolo guy with red meat.
Just in general. But I don't really. We're at a wedding tomorrow, and it's going to be a baller wedding, I feel. So we are going to be hopefully drinking. You know what I like about weddings? Yeah, you know what I like about weddings is most of the time they'll have like a choice drink. So you get to have like sometimes a unique drink that is a favorite of the groom or bride, and it'll be interesting to see what that is. But
I've been to a few
where it's champagne,
where it's just a blue label. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we
have a lot of friends where it's like, that's the specialty drink is just blue label, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
keep it simple.
I don't know. I don't gotta drink more, but I drink it some more this weekend. That's for sure.
It's gotta live. All right.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't drink.
I was about to. I'm gonna stop staring at Novavax here. It was about to break $11. It looked very imminent, double top breakout. So I had the stop order in, and it got up to like 11.90. If you saw me, like hands on the keys, ready to go. Just higher lows off VWAP into the break for Novavax. We wanted to take the quick break for a scalp trade, then see if it runs. Maybe give it about $0.25. But now it's pulling right back into VWAP in here. So I guess maybe nothing doing yet. I mean, I'll keep my eyes on it if it goes. It's got a big short float. I think everyone understands that. They got a great deal. Any way you cut it, the thing about Novavax, any way you cut it, that's a really good story for them. They go from possibly going under by their own admission to getting a huge capital injection, like 5% investment, and then $500 million, and possibly more than that after, like 700 could come after that. Palantir bounces off 21 again as I'm staring at Novavax. I just took some more at that 14 level. Then we'll take some at VWAP, and then we'll just try to hold for somewhere in the 21-30 range. You got to try to ring the register. 21 might not give you exactly what we wanted because it was such an obvious level a couple of days in a row. So usually you go to a level 3 times, it's going to have more people going long in front of it. That means more people on the offer trying to scalp out, and that puts some pressure on the bid, unfortunately. But it's still working, nothing wrong with that. Novavax, let me just double check on them. Still at 1060. I'll have that one up on a level 2 just to be sure we don't miss that kind of a break. And AMD, it's just, I wish I could tell you that I was looking for a reversal on AMD. A lot of times the best you can do is just get out, right? And then take a small hit. It was working to the long, looked like it was gonna be a place to add off of VWAP, got it, and immediately it failed. 152 is coming in heavy. And if we're completely reversing this, move to the downside, you probably know where I'm gonna go. Oh, we're not at $30 for a break. Oddly enough, Intel's not as weak as I would have thought. I was thinking if we're underneath 900 on NVIDIA and testing 152 on AMD, that it would be a simple $30 breakdown on Intel. And no, it's nowhere close. So if we're turning into a short, that would be kind of back here at 30.30. Just gonna have to be patient with that one, unfortunately. But Novavax $11 break could be next. I still want to be over into Alphabet for that short, but it's pressing. As the market went down, it's still going up. And that just means you got to wait for your level. This is trend up. We did good to get out of it while we did. Ooh, little bit of a bid getting there for NVIDIA, 900, trying to come back.
That's what we were thinking.
AMD's not at 52. That's unfortunate. It'd be an easy long. If NVIDIA were reclaiming 900 at the moment that AMD's at 52, that's an easy punch long for me, but it's $1 away. Well, I'll keep my eyes on NVIDIA. Once it looks strong enough, maybe back through 53.75 in here and give it to the local bottom.
All right, Tesla short, $2 in the money, right there on a retracement back to the 200 period. We are getting real comfortable now. So, I mean, this is starting to get exciting for your boy over here because some of these plays are definitely getting nailed. So, really happy with some of this. Yeah, thinking about this NVIDIA log, I don't like that little wick down below there. So I want to see if we'll retest that because we've taken some of those without big volume spikes. I don't believe in them as much. Like if this was a huge volume, like sort of a flush out right there, which it obviously was because it broke 900 and that panics some sells. So I mean that went down. I don't think we're gonna. I mean 897. Like that's the kind of slippage. I've had that slippage on this name before, especially if you're using even 100 shares or something. They'll pull the bids. Like the minute they get hit at 63, then they'll pull everything else because they know there's a market order coming in. So that will often hit that level. But look what's happening right now to Tesla. She's falling apart, baby, and that is completely fine by me. So you guys know that we talked about this trade. We broke this trade down for you. There goes Tesla into the basement. Big trade. My number one P&L name. We're gonna go 2 for 2, 2 and 2. NVIDIA win, Tesla win, AMD L, Apple L. But the thing about this Apple trade is like I still can't wrap my head around this. Win, win. Basically just a loss right there once it wound up breaking 183.50, but it really hasn't done anything since. So I do, yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying there, Marcelo, in the chat there. I do believe that Tesla is at a bouncing spot right now because we already bounced off 170. So I'm gonna put a bid. Yesterday we were stubborn about NVIDIA, although it wound up working out on NVIDIA because it gave us numerous reloads, but it's only 1020 right now. So like Tesla could easily go back to 172.
The other thing to consider,
Not even.
is everyone and their mother might be taking that bottom.
Yeah, my mom called me. She was like wondering about that 170 there. I
Debs
told her
is going short 170.
I told her just to chill out. I'm already short higher. I got this. But yeah, you are right though.
But I think
such a key level.
I know one of the things that I know Max does this. I've done it occasionally where it's like, okay, well if you're gonna put a trail stop or maybe you're gonna take some profit out there, it's like, well, if you're gonna take the break, why not just like add on the break and then tighten up the stop? The problem with that is then suddenly you're throwing away what you have, which is better. So you can almost anticipate, let me finish this thought with the chart. You can almost just anticipate the bounce, like you're doing, I think, get some out and then maybe reload off VWAP. Then suddenly you've got a VWAP trade when it breaks the 70s. So you kind of play the middle of the range. But the other trade is obviously just taking a 170 break and making that like your entry point. But if you're already in, you can get a little more nuance with it because you're in the money.
What is even Kashkari talking about?
Yeah, come on, Kashkari.
Did you hear what he just said?
Palantir was just about to break VWAP is what I know. And
Oh, Kashkari.
why didn't this... Oh, PL.
Kashkari just said the Fed is vulnerable to hackers. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I think insert anything vulnerable to hackers there. I'll find out more about that.
Not fair TV Live.
Yeah, we're vulnerable. No, I'm
joking.
Do not tempt.
I'm joking.
Said hackers. I know.
You know I'm not.
No, but that's the point. Is I just feel like that was not. I'm only laughing because we never hear that kind of stuff. We always hear targeting this, policy that, and then all of a sudden I heard something about hackers. I was like, wait a second. But I don't know what they're going to hack into. Were they going to hack in and grab the most recent dot plot so that could be a fail again? Well, we could look at that.
Imagine they changed the dot plot.
Yeah, imagine the dot plot actually meant something. I mean, we had 6 rate cuts marked down on the dot plot. Now we might hike. But right now, Tesla is 1, 2. We're rolling now back in. It just bounced off 170. I'm at 170.20. So if that hits, it's 10.20. Maybe we'll get a little match there.
Right.
But go over to the desk and see what's up with the Dara. Or the screen.
IWM continuing to make new lows of days. Pretty weak look here for this small cap ETF, the Russell 2000. Lots of individual names running though, and a lot of these having pretty high short floats. Of course, we do have to start by talking about Novavax, NVAX, up 100+% here, entering an agreement with Sanofi to co-commercialize this COVID-19 vaccine. They also raised their revenue guidance, had earnings last night as well. So NVAX, 32% short float, absolutely on the rise. We also have Ouster, this one, another earnings name here with an 8.8% short float. They beat across the board, currently up pretty nicely here as well for OUST. Last but not least, Soundhound, SOUN, kind of topic and turning around here, but still up over 10% on an earnings beat across the board. They do have an 18.2% short float. So a lot of these short float earnings names on watching the small cap world, guys.
Small cap world.
It's a small cap world. Well, today's been, there's been a lot of them, that's for sure. It's a weird morning. I'm basically shooting 4 for 6, but I haven't been in anything that long. It's just weird. Like a lot of times I'll be sitting in something a lot longer than this. But Alphabet continuing to, I say, bamboozle any shorts because it's about to bounce off VWAP for a higher low. I don't know that that's going to be the one at this point. But I got the eyes on that NVIDIA back through that 900. And AMD is still channeling down. So the 152 on AMD is really starting to come in here. It's absolute woodshedding once this thing took out VWAP. There's pretty much no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Sometimes the best you can do is get out of the way. GameStop is trying to hold on to 18.5. Like it back over VWAP. It's failing that a little bit here, but we're really tight or close to that 152 for the long as NVIDIA's 99, trying to break that 200 or 900 level. Palantir, going to get another leg out in front of VWAP. It's trying to bounce off 21s again, but the weakness in the market, yeah, let's actually see it. I want to see it hold the bid before I get a reload on Palantir. I'm not sitting on the bid at 1s or 2s. I got a little bit less. We didn't get it all out, but I'm going to take more in front of VWAP if we're able to even get it. I have not looked at ARM, and I know a lot of people have been saying ARM in the chat because ARM is relatively strong. Well, the way these bad boys are tanking, I'm talking about the rest of the chip names, I wouldn't consider a long in any of them until NVIDIA starts showing more pep in its step, or TSM starts holding VWAP because they're the ones that started this whole thing with their numbers. They're starting to creep back above, which could give you an opportunity to go long. But it's been AMD that I wanted 152. I don't want to stray away from the original idea.
Yeah, no, I'm in AMD right now, but just right here. So we'll watch out for it. I mean, a little bit of a dip buy opportunity. We'll start our position right now, looking for a lot more. I mean, the same situation happened to us on Tesla, where we started the position looking for more, and we were able to get more. So this gave us that bigger winner. It was a winner no matter what, but you did have to hold it against yourself, about 40 cents. So, you know, we're comfortable doing that again for AMD, but again, the bottom there was not even 50s, was it? Well, here, was it? Oh, 152.21? No, that didn't happen. 152.51. So we'll take this right now. Just long at 78. We get a push back into 153.50. Let's take some out right there. So here we go. Nice little move for us on AMD. We'll take some out back up on the upside right here. It's a quick 25 cents. Right now. So there it is. Now 25 cents right here. Let's just take some. Let's take something. I'll put an 06 there. I can't see. Sometimes I can't get out of my own damn way. But you know what the thing is? There's a winner. Put it back on the board. A little bit of a slapper right there for you on AMD, as again we go back to the sticky note. And so far so good on that one. The only thing is that Apple has definitely been, I can't just be like, yo, every level on sticky note has been cash money. We had 184 written down on there, and that one got flushy down there to the downside. We'll see, man. We will be red on Apple, and that is completely fine. We like losing on ideas that we had that didn't work, as long as we make money on ideas that we had initially as well. So there's Tesla downside. AMD, we want the long. We just took out only 20% there. Now see, now it fades back. So here's that exact same level again. Let's continue to be patient. I saw what you said there on Frank Jones. Sean is winning because he has patience. And I laughed and told everybody only if everybody knew, because you can clearly see that sometimes I do not have that, but I do appreciate it because that is the one thing that we're working on. And then on that front, I kind of ran out of patience a little bit there because we got out of Tesla not out of it, we still have a piece. Remember I said I was waiting for 170.20? When we just saw this bounce around, I did take a piece out at 50. It just went up to 171 there. We did not reload it, but see, now here's another bounce spot. So we are patient, letting this name fall in. Now we're almost out of it. We still have 20%. No, yeah, a little more. Yeah, about 20% left of this trade. And we're going to wait to see now if we can break through 170. But again, profit earned, profit taken. You can't just sit there and like hope that this is going to happen. You got to sometimes take action. And right there, we did do that at 170.50 again. So it's a $2 winner. And we're about to see hopefully a lot more on this one. The thing about it is if this drops in, AMD obviously is going to give us that fill downside as well. So watch out for 152 coming in quite quickly here for AMD.
Yeah, Palantir does not hold on to 21. At least we're patient about it, but it doesn't hold the level I just punched out. At the same time, I got into SOUN again. Waited for it to get back down into the bottom and actually confirm a support level, even if it breaks once, twice, thrice at the 544. There it goes. So my stop, automatic stop. There's a low, put it right underneath it. Take that bid, wait for it to show a little confirmation. SOUN was one of the last names I liked at a support level, and it's not gonna hold on to it. Palantir just lost to 21. We go over to Google if we're heading back into the downside. Alphabet, still looking pretty strong. Intel, I mean, it's not at VWAP, but it is another setup that I usually like on Intel, which is holding underneath pre-market lows. And oddly enough, that is right at 4 o'clock, the top at 325. So it's more of a consolidation short if I take it at 25, and I would have to take a different position here or up at the top. So we're not quite, never mind, we are at 152.
What Tesla's doing.
We are at 152 on AMD right now. Okay, so AMD is within 25 cents of 152. This is the level.
Tesla's $3. There it goes, man. Nice downside push for Tesla. There's that 170 break. This is why we hold it. Obviously looking back and saying, you know, why 5 minutes ago did we get out for $1 higher than this? We already explained that. So, you know, we're going to be wrong a little bit sometimes here. But, well, that's not wrong. So, whatever. We talked about that. You got to take profit where profit lie. And that time we did do that, and we did it really well. So, I have no complaints at all about how we are trading here today. So, there goes AMD. Obviously, we talked about this move back in there. I'm bidding 10s. It just went to 12s. If we get 10s, we get 10s. I don't know. I would like to get them, so that's what we're bidding. So hopefully we do fall in a little bit. We're trying to be, there it is. We're trying to be careful because a break through 152 and we're gone. So we do have a lot of shares. Well, we have shares on board. Whether or not it's a lot or not is all relative, of course. So let's now just wait to see what happens. We are long at 24s here on AMD. You can see I have full position right now, long 152.24. You guys have asked for some like explanations about that. So there it is, my full position right there, 152.24. Let's get something out if we can come out. Shut up, Kashkari. Let's just keep on going upside if we can. Break yourself back up right now for AMD. The reason why you don't want Fed to speak right now is because, like, why do you want more randomness involved in these trades? We would rather just come into our technical levels, hit it, and rip it. So that's what we're trying to do right now for AMD. And if it does fall back in, it falls back in. But this is a level that we wrote down on the sticky note that we like. And right now, Tesla is absolutely tanking right now. And this is a darling of a trade. As we talked about it as our #1 short idea of the day, it's Tesla, and it's right there. And it's 320 now in the money for TSLA.
TSLA, oh. We'll go, sorry, crypto with it there. Sorry, guys. We'll go in just a quick second.
Yeah,
I obviously have an NVIDIA, not NVIDIA. I took AMD at 152 as well. That's the level I like. I don't like even dollar stops, but I don't think it's going to hold it. Looking like it's under some pressure. Let's see what's going on in crypto world.
It's under pressure.
Yeah, I just got smoked.
Yeah.
Interesting note here, another update in the Kraken SEC situation that began back in November 2023 with the SEC basically suing Kraken here. Now Kraken countering their interpretation, basically having a motion to dismiss, saying that the SEC's wording shows they don't actually understand the case in and of itself. So they're using words like ecosystem where they should have said enterprise. Just an interesting motion there. If you're following the SEC and Kraken situation, there is another update with that motion to dismiss from Kraken. In terms of Bitcoin itself here, we're back chopping and churning around and below that 63,000 level. Currently up about 1.49% today. We initially were a little bit higher early today, around 63,000, now about 62,250. Ethereum was above that 3,000 area earlier, now below, just slightly below there, but still slightly up on the day. Bit of a mixed performance here. Some of these names to the downside, like Ripple, Dogecoin, BNB. We also have Solana, though, up 4.5%, and Cardano up 1.5%, guys.
Give me those Cardano goods one more time. But yeah, okay, so AMD, I just said to myself, like, AMD's just going down here. So, oops, that's still, what is that? That's Tesla. Okay, Tesla's good. But there goes AMD, man. We tried that 152 level. It broke. It is a flush down to the downside there for AMD again. Move down there. What's up, youriTremote.com. If you're looking for your IT remote, visit youriTremote.com. See, that was $1 super chat, and you just get that shout out. So there we go. Thank you, iremotewhatever.com. All right, so 152 downside right now for AMD. It's starting to break. We said watch out for NVIDIA 890, sorry, on our sticky note. Did I write down 890 or what did I write down there? AMD 890, yeah, so we're still a little bit away. $4 in the money right now for Tesla. Probably AMD could be reversed into a short, maybe.
Yeah, it was. I thought
the market is weak.
I thought about it for a split second. I'll take the. I've hit the flush emoji. Well, a key, whatever, graphic, whatever you want to call it. When it could not hold on to 152, I sat out the entire move down to 152, and it still doesn't bounce. The new position. I mean, I'm in. You guys can see I'm already in. Intel already was short that, but Novavax just showed some signs of life there. Zoom, oh goodness, this chart. So it just came right back in, held 970, and then bounced above 10. So essentially took the break above 10 into VWAP. I've been looking only to go long this stock on like breaks back up through even dollars. I like the 11. It held 970, so I went long through 10. I'll stop out at 10 and not 970. So it's more of a scalp trade than hold through the high. The other name, if we're gonna have a market down day, GameStop or any of the squeeze names are going to be in play.
Trying to go long.
And it's right back at 17.5. So all roads just led right back into that monster level on the daily chart. That's right in here for like 3 days or 4 days in a row. It crested that 17.5. There's a better way to look at it on the 15-minute. So if it bounces, it's kind of the most obvious place for a bounce. We haven't been in this one since, it was up at the 1920 and I made that trade. I'm up on it because I took profit, but that was like literally the worst exit point you could ever make. But holding this 17.5, I'm going to jump back into it in front of that level. I'd like to get 3/4 in front of 17.50 for risk to reward on GME. As the market heads lower, I mean, this wasn't even immune to that. Like, it started following the market. If it wasn't for 17.5, I wouldn't be thinking about the dip buy. So just Novavax, bid on GME, in the short on Intel, and man, that really was a good break short on AMD at that level. Sometimes a good level is just good in either direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's only at 151.70.
Hindsight, no, because you would have you'd have scalped some out, and then you could still be holding a piece. But anyways, I'm not in it. NVAX just kind of hit that 10-30 range. Took a couple of scalp trades out. I'll get one more, and then I want to hold it for a move into $11. I'll make a judgment call whether I still like the breakout at 11. Typically, I'm not a huge fan of the breakout unless it tightens things up. Like, I want higher lows going into an 11 break. It hasn't really done that yet. Right, there we go.
All right, just real quickly here. We're in a new trade now. Oh, let me just go over this. We just took the TQs. I was like, you know what? We forgot about the NASDAQ possibly holding 18.2. So let's see if that happens. But right now, Tesla, I'm going to get out if this breaks through 169.60. Just sort of that shelf right there. If we break above that, let's just get out. I mean, it's $3 in the money. We're all over that one. So here's my TQ position. It does fall back in. I thought this was a decent level into yesterday's sort of levels there that we talked about. So let's just try to find out if this is going to be a level or not on the triple Qs. This is the futures. The NASDAQ futures is what we're in, and we're in the triple levered. So if the NASDAQ goes up 1%, this will go up 3%. So we're trying this. It's the exact same as the SQ if you were thinking about going short or long. It's just we don't have to pay for Boros here. So I can just go long or short TQ. So again, just a triple levered product there on the NASDAQ. We're going to get out if it breaks 75. I just didn't want to be part of this if it breaks yesterday's sort of close. So that would, to me, would put us red, right, on the NASDAQ. So if we get red on the NASDAQ, then we'll get out of there. And we've seen this happen before where the market makes these bottoms intraday, around this time, into the midday, and then can rally back. Hey, anything can happen. It is a random day in the market, remember, and it's a Friday. We haven't had like a free fall Friday or anything like that. That doesn't really exist. But you know, you can go both ways on a Friday, so let's wait to see what happens right now. You're just getting red here. I think this is worth a shot. But yeah, AMD's right back to 152.
You know
So
what?
look at the market going lower, and AMD is holding at this level. So I don't know, man. That was an early out. We should have just shorted up there. Then we got patient and we waited for all the way down here, but eventually it does not work out for us as AMD takes out 152. So, all right, last gasp effort here as we buy yesterday's close. Okay, now we're starting to go. Kashkari is still yap.
He's still talking.
He's still Yapkari right now. I don't, you know, if we're just going to talk about the market, that we are very vulnerable to this long. So we'll get some more out here. It's up. We're doing well on this for right now. Let's get some more outs. There's a 90 out. We're long at 83s. We just got to dip by into yesterday's close. That was the level. Now let's hold it and hope he says something nice.
That would be a nice change there, Neil. Say something nice. You're not going to spell your name the right way,
Yeah.
but the market's up. Look, so AMD's regaining the 152. We talk about this a lot, getting things on the front end or the back end. The back end means allow it to test the level, see what happens, and then when it looks strong off of that level, then try the long instead of getting it on the bid. So it's starting to hold a bid at 152. If it can get above the teens or even into the teens, I think getting in that direction is going to be a little bit better. Oh, GameStop's starting to go.
Yeah.
Look, I'm staring at the tape of AMD. GameStop, I just took one out in front of 18, and AMD can't hold 52. Man, this stock
Went short?
No. I was looking to go long if it could actually show bids above 152, but there's just no strength on it right now. So GameStop just printed me at 95, and it's right back into the low. So I'm not going to reload that position. I mean, it prints and then goes right back down 25 cents. So you get the 25 cents and it pulls right back in. I feel like AMD's at the key point as well. It's right back at that. It's still no change. Right at 152. Can't seem to hold a bid above 10s. Now it is. And I don't get 15s there. Still not getting it. Still not getting it. Still not getting it. Punch 20s, punch 20s, punch 20s.
You're not even in AMD.
Well, I know. I punched 15s.
Oh, you're waiting to punch long.
No, I punched 15s and didn't get it. So I was sitting there.
Roger that.
And then was like, I was telling myself, am I going to punch 20s? Am I going to punch 20s? I did, and I got 19s. So I'm going to give that into 152 again. The only difference with these trades is one, again, front end, back end. Front hand, back hand, one of my favorite skits. I feel like I was playing front hand, back hand, standing in front of that 152 and just asking for it. So 152 and a half, 153, then 153 and a half, 154 would be the steps up. Just gonna double check on Novavax here because the scaling's gonna be bad because of this wick at 8 o'clock, but it's back to the 10 level. So I'm long here at 10.13. And it's right back at 10.12. So it got all the way up to 50s, got some out, but it's right back at that 10. I've moved my stop right into 9.99. It's got to hold on to that on a dime, otherwise I'm getting out. Let's go back over to Adara. It's time for Sector Watch.
Lots of really strong sectors here. Electronic technology, with the exception of Apple, nice move to the upside here. Finance, green across the board. Health technology, a little bit green with the exception of Moderna, getting that FDA approval delayed a little bit for that RSV vaccine. Producer manufacturing, pretty strong here. Consumer services, also nice look. Charter, especially strong after pricing $3 billion senior convertible notes. So nice look there. Senior secure notes, sorry, for CHTR. Nice look. Commercial services, health services, process industries, transportation also very strong with the exception of Uber getting a price target decrease from Roth MKM. In terms of weaker sectors, retail trade a little bit weak, utilities kind of flat, communications flat, industrial services a bit more flat, energy minerals headed to the downside here, and technology services mostly green, but Meta and Google both to the downside. Interesting look across the board here, guys.
Stupid, dumb stocks. Let's go. What am I even doing in this business? Look at TQQ right here. I mean, let's go, man. Hit the sires. If you guys are trading futures, I mean, what up with that? We talked about flipping our game up. We talked about going to the futures. TQs was my #1 symbol, I think, last month. We talked about that, and look at the damage put right back on the board right here. Vaults to #1 P&L, and it ain't even close. Well, Tesla's pretty close. But there it goes. Nice move to the upside right now. for the TQs. We make that money back right there. That's a good one for us on the TQs. We did have to hold it. And look what we did on AMD. Let's go, man. We wrote down 152. We did get absolutely rinsed on it, but let's get back in on that dip opportunity for the trip queue for our AMD. We'll buy those dips. Let's just keep taking a little bit out here as we continue to go back to the upside. We bought 152.15s. Whether or not it breaks or not, I don't know. But if this market continues to go, man, we flying high right now with some of these positions. So let's just keep getting it out here on the TQQs. We're now out of, honestly, like 75% of this trade. We took good amount of shares down there, multiples of whatever, you know, good move. 59.10. Let's see what happens up here at 59.40. Hopefully we can get back to VWAP. And then honestly, that'll be a good day. So if that gets to VWAP, then AMD should climb here as well. Nice to trade the futures instead of a stock for once.
Yeah, and it's like find the comfort zone, right? Like AMD, the chips are weak, right? The market's the market's green, actually. I was about to say it's only down X, but we're actually up the NASDAQ 0.17%. NVIDIA, AMD have pulled back. I'm still in that AMD trade. I'm gonna take you back over to NVAX. It's starting to go. I tried to get rid of the wick, it just came back. I'm not adding to this in front of VWAP. However, if I get the 50s and it goes up to 1050, sorry Ram, I know I'm supposed to have it the other way. My bad. I'm supposed to have my microphone pointed in the right direction, otherwise it's bad and then you guys get sound issues. That's my fault. But if we get to the 50s, I'm gonna take an out and then look for a rebound and buy again at VWAP on Novavax. AMD still hasn't printed above 30. Once it does, I'm gonna take a little bit out there. And like as we mentioned, like, you know, obviously some of these squeeze names have been decent plays. You're holding 175 on GameStop. We sat it out until it got to another key level. I'm now offering more at the 18.
Let's go.
Consolidating lower. So AMD just printed the first time. Finally, it's above the 30 level. I just got 40s on AMD as well, assuming that's to fill you guys.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and the futures, man. I mean, we are right now. This is our world, and we're living in it right now, guys. This is the moment, right? I mean, you're making trades. You're putting on levels. We talked about it. It was 10:30. I said the market could easily bounce back from here. We said, why are we ignoring 18.2 down here on the NASDAQ? We did not ignore that. We have that bottom wick. You see this wick right here on the futures? That's our long. And why is it right there? We talked about it yesterday's close. We dared that thing to go red, and it almost did. And now it's a nice bump up to the upside right here as we continue to get more and more out of these triple Qs. Obviously, in hindsight, no. As we get better to trade some of these futures, we'll learn about all this. But this is why I don't trade the futures, because let's just say you put on 10 contracts down there or whatever you'd put on, then I only have 10 outs because I can get one out at a time. If I put on whatever, 500 shares, 700 shares, 100 shares, some 30 shares, whatever you want to do, at the end of the day, that gives you multiple chances to get out. So that I'm a scalper at heart. We talked about that, and you know, we'll just continue to trade equities. But trust when I tell you, if you are a futures trader, I'm here for you. Right there, good level. I'm going to continue to look at this. Futures was my number one. I don't know. It was up there, dancing with. Probably, we talked about NVIDIA was a top name. Intel always remains being a top name. We had a monster Amazon trade last month, not yesterday. But at the end of the day, long story short, we're trading futures, and we've done really, really well on them. So we'll just continue doing that, and yeah, you know, join us for more of this. You know, that's what I do.
Yeah, absolutely. And breaking the high of the day, and still going, is Reddit. Reddit broke that 50 the other day. It just held nicely. There's some serious room to run. We're going to look at that bottom in here. It's got some serious room to run to fill in the gap. 53, a bit of a double top if you go back another day here, a couple of days, and room to about 56. It's very thin. There's not a lot of liquidity there. VWAP does look pretty good. I'm going to get out of GameStop. Doesn't look like it wants to hold that 17.5 level. The key thing about it is, and like, you know, what's been holding it up for me is, you know, just trade it at the key price. Wait for it to get there. Take your profit where you can, but just adhere to the stop. If it can't go, it can't go. You don't want to fight it. You don't want to fight it too far. For every one of these where I get out at pretty much the worst possible time, it's also going to save you if the stock just trends down on you. Then you don't turn any one trade into a massive loser. Novavax is still holding 10, but it's getting a little bit flatlining at that $10 level. And then, if it breaks up the quarters, we'll get one more out there and then see if we can hold on. AMD does not hold on to 152. This was obviously like my bad stock for the day because we took a few swings at it. Like the first one good, does not hold on to VWAP. Then we're long at the 152 level, which is one we like the most. That's one we had the most risk on when it lost. Come back in to take the higher low. I'll keep playing at this level here, but I got to see it make those and hold those higher lows on advanced micro devices.
Yeah, we did really well on AMD here. I mean, we held through. We're still in this name. We're taking out 40s here. Here it is, man. It is a 35-cent winner right now on AMD, back to the upside. And the TQs, yeah, it did break 59. We did get out of another piece of that as well. So all is well. And by the way, this trade, I mean, we'll tweet it out again, but it's Tesla. I also tweeted this out on our sticky note that this was the short that we were looking for. And now look, it is, where is this? $1, $2, $3, $4 right now in the money for Tesla. You know, maybe just doing doing all these activities, going out all the time, living our best life and whatnot is actually starting to pay off here as well. And you know, we talked about rest being for the wicked, and I don't think I'll be getting any this weekend, that is for sure. So join me on Monday. We'll be back. We only have now 13 more minutes left, and ciao, right there. It's a props kind of a day right now for Tesla. We've had a $10 winner on NVIDIA. Now it's $4 right here on Tesla, as it is Tank City right now, down to the downside for TSL to the A. But who cares about that? Let's figure out what's for lunch. Yeah, but that's the thing. I feel like more people might care about this. It is a good one today, I feel like. Could be possibly. Taco. Curry chicken. So we do have a chicken dinner winner. Let's see how they make it. I have no idea. My wife makes a kick, you know what, curry chicken. So I'm hoping this one could be good. With steamed basmati rice. So we will see one or the other. It should be a good day here for the lunch. And yesterday was a fantastic day because for lunch, the chef had tuna on top of his salad. And so today we'll cook up some more profits and have an enjoyable salad, which once again will not have tuna on it. But there it is. What's up, Hamster One? You guys are all welcome, man. Anybody riding that hamster wheel with me every single day, you know what's up. You know, you guys know what's up. This is a monster trade here for Tesla. Hopefully that's all good, man. Hopefully you guys have some of the TQs. And then the losing idea, as Neil said, my biggest loser as well today will be AMD. It broke through 52. We put on some shares there. If it worked, we were huge. If it doesn't, we get smoked. That hit 152. We got out pretty much immediately. We got out at 89 break or something like that. So I have to look. We've made so many trades since then. But anyways, AMD still trying to work back up to the upside. We haven't let this one go quite yet, making a little bit of that money back on AMD. But wow, what a monster day it's been for some of these names as they continue to move around. Yeah, get ready for the midday show. Trading the hype is what they're talking about there on the midday show. And Adara's talking about something that means a lot to me. It's money talks.
After a decidedly rough day for the DXY, making a nice recovery here, bouncing off that 105.20 area, trying to come into that 105.40s and 105.50 that we had as a level a little bit earlier. We have a lot of Fed speak on the docket today. We already had some comments from Logan, Kashkari, and Bowman. Fed's Logan and Bowen, both notably a little bit hawkish. Logan saying that they've made substantial progress, but it's not a soft landing yet, and there is disappointing Q1 inflation data. We also did get that Michigan consumer sentiment, which probably helped the DXY to the upside a little bit here, coming in much lower than expected, while the Michigan inflation expectations were higher than expected. So both of those numbers, nice move up here for the DXY. Coming on later in the day for Fed speak, we get 12:45 Fed's Goolsby. At 1:30 we get Fed's Barr. Then Fed's Kashkari and Goolsby both speak again at 2:15 here. Next week as well, keep an eye out for PPI on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday we get CPI. So lots of things to keep an eye on here in this market, guys.
Someone's excited for PPI right now, and he might be on in about 9 minutes. I like it. Back into GameStop. That's the only new position. I'm going to show you. Before we went to the turn there, I said if 10 broke on Novavax, I was taking a 99 out, like 9.99, and I got out at like 98. But I'm not jumping back into that one just yet. I want to see it above VWAP. The difference with GameStop is it's very similar to that AMD level, although very different stocks. 17.5 has just been so big that if it's going to continue to try to hold here, if it makes the hold and gets to VWAP, I think it could rip again. So I jump back in that. I got 82s. Last time I had like 77, but I'll give it back into that 50 range. Intel got to VWAP and dip, so we're back into the short there on INTC. I'm still not convinced about AMD, but it's holding on to 152 just by a hair. So we're in and out a couple of times. Now it's going to make another test at a higher low on AMD. This would be a little more bullish if it can make this consolidation after wicking out. Then you'd have a nice consolidation high. Try to get it back in the quarters like we did last time. So just about being patient. And Bitcoin is tanking. No, it's not. It's at 61.
It's tanking. Yeah.
So, all right. Look, Mara has been trend down this whole way, and I'm like, it's got the short float, all that stuff, but it's down 8%. But with Bitcoin tanking, this has filled in enough of the gap. I feel like an 18 quarter, 18, 13, something in this range, especially if we're going to get to 60,000 on BTC with disappointing earnings for Mara, I think, obviously, as everybody can tell. Down 8% for Mara. I think this is a weaker one than CleanSpark. Had Bitcoin been going up, I'd be playing CleanSpark long, not Mara anyways. But time to look for this one with a nice consolidation at the lows. Mara looking bad. Could get to 10% today.
I mean, the Tesla chart speaks for itself here, down to 168 and change. I mean, I don't even, I'm trying to figure out a stop order. I just was debating 169, I'm guessing here. So let's just put in a 169 fill, because if it breaks above that, let's just get a 169.21. Fabian, what's up? Fabian. There it is, 169.21. Just want to show everybody this level because, again, I use this level as an out right here. Remember, we had 169.50, 169.66, I think it was. Obviously, we could trade the 50 period to the downside, but if it gets all the way back there, then we'll be giving up that dollar. So this was a shelf at 169, so we'll just continue to do that, man. You know, we're here for you. And there's a monster in Tesla. So if you were trading Tesla today, I hope some of my advice has helped a little bit right there. We did get out of AMD at the top. It made 50 cents, 40 cents. Then it breaks 52. We actually got out of 52 clean, so that was the break. We did not wait for anything lower than that. Out right there on that break. And then now the market goes to the downside. You know how much of this we had left? Less than 10%. And we get out that for that last flat piece as here comes the market now testing 18.2 again right now. So just be careful. Maybe a break higher through this right now, but there's 18.2 coming in right now into the market. So yes, sir, it is now a multiple $4 winner, breaking through $4. Now $4.25 now in the money here, Neil, for Tesla.
Yeah, go get them, Tesla. I wish it wasn't going down because I got it in that long term. I just bought 151s like a few weeks ago. But day trading one brain, long term the other brain, right? Like you won't test in your long term too. You can't be afraid.
Yeah, but I'm not a savant like you. I did not buy 152. I was like at 170 something.
It was 150. It was a trend line on a chart.
Yeah.
And it was,
no, it's
and
there.
The bottom of the trend line was in front of a round number, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy it in this quarter anyways. So 151's it's a fun number. It's I like 151 for other reasons too. But I just threw the bid out there like a week or two before it got there, and you just take the fill and then you hang on to it. So Mara's breaking down. It just broke 18s. I just got 97. That's continuing to go. It's starting to look nasty. I mean, the market's obviously not looking good. The market just went red, so it just went underneath that 18.2 that Sean's talking about. It just went red. I do have the Intel short, but the new one was just Mara on continued weakness. Bitcoin could get to 60,000. And very quickly, there's a trade that I said I would do. I just put in Intel when I meant to put in IBIT. Intel at the low of the day, yada, yada, yada. That's great. If we get to 60,000 on Bitcoin, there's a reversal trade that I like. It's like a failed break of the even dollar. or even 60,000, where it breaks 60,000, holds just underneath, and get it right back through. The way that it's falling today, I think that's going to be in play. So watch out for that 60,000 level. It's probably a lunchtime thing because it's like 10:56, but I'll be there. If I see one of those crazy reversals off 16,000, I think I'll be in IBIT to express that trade. I don't know the corresponding number. It's like whatever price IBIT's at.
Yeah.
When you get to 60,000, it's... I guess I could have like some kind of a spreadsheet or something that tells me, but it doesn't matter. Like you just watch the chart. When you hit 60,000, once you're back above, go for it.
All right, so Tesla right now is 450 in the money and still going lower. I mean, we'll try AMD off this bottom in case we do get an 18.2 bounce. So we're back. Oops, I didn't even put my stop order in. We're back into AMD. That bottom is right here. I mean, we are asking for more pain. There is no doubt about that. Like, from my worst stock, like by far, obviously, as AMD, we can't sit here and tell you we made money on this one because we did not. We tried to buy that 152 3 times basically, and every time it had failed on us with this market just going red now. This was a big level on the weekly, so I feel like there's just the jiggling happening right now. We had gotten, I mean, we're never holding it to like 150, but that, you know, part of it is getting out now and then just trying to figure out what it wants to do. So we've already wicked down in here into 150, 150 before. That's what we did right now. Remember, lots of talk today. We had Michigan sentiment come a lot lower, so this market is still a little bit in turbulence right now. But we're long at 75. Let's take something out if it gets back to O's or even close to that for 25 cents because the bottom of the day here is 51.40. I honestly, if we retest that bottom, that will be it for me. We're only in at 75. We'll put some more in and around 55 and then give it that 20 cents. Honestly, the way this stock moves, it'll just sneeze and go down 50 cents. So you got to put your stops in and be very, very careful with this one. I don't know why I go back to the well, but I think there's a lot of opportunity here with AMD, especially if we get it right.
Stay thirsty, that's why.
Oh yeah, we don't stop, man. But yeah, 157.50. Yeah, we're thirsty for some pain here. It's too bad we just don't have all of the love for Tesla. This is $5 now in the money and just going short. So again, our 2 short ideas today, Google and Tesla, we got into one of them.
That's sort of the thing. Like Google, I think, was a bit different because it trended up at the open. I was in that short. It wasn't even a good one as far as I'm concerned. You're gonna see I'm actually out of GameStop. 18 just keeps on doing this thing where it breaks 18 and then it fails back under. I want to see it hold a bit higher and then maybe jump into it off of that level. So I just scalped out of it. Novavax just started to go again, and I missed an opportunity there. This wick keeps coming back. It just missed an opportunity to get this little break here at the quarter mark. I think it can make a run at $11. It's a huge short float. A lot of pressure on it with that deal with Sanofi. So I want to get it back into the quarters, just jump into the long. I had the 10 long before, but the last of it stopped out. Now that it's above the quarters, I'll take the steps up in front of VWAP. We put the short Mara on, we still have Intel, but these 2 runners, they've been pretty solid. I mean, pre-market was obviously a lot bigger for Novavax. I'd be a little surprised if it just goes sideways forever. So I only want to look long above VWAP and above 10s. Not trying to short this. It would have to break like $9 for me to even think about short on Novavax. Strong name. Let's see if we can play it. ARM just broke VWAP, so there is strength coming back into the chip names. NVIDIA's still at 898. I'm looking for go reasons on AMD, and you know what? I'm not even finding them. It should just be TSM in the chips. TSM's holding VWAP. If there's a long in the chips, it should just be these guys.
Yeah.
You know what?
I keep fighting the same battle.
Okay, we got 10 seconds to go. If I take a long in a chip name that isn't TSM in the next 15 minutes, then I'm an idiot. Because this is at VWAP and holding it when the market's at the lows. Yeah, I mean, I fought AMD. It's my worst stock.
TSM has been the